Welcome to Feast and Farm Cooks. My name is Rachel Ballard, and today we are making your favorite takeout, Chinese takeout that is, and we are making homemade egg rolls. I know everybody feels like that's absolutely an impossible task at home, but it's not. I have a few simple ingredients to put them together at your house without the MSG and all those mystery additives that you don't want in your food. So let me show you how simple it is. Here's what you're going to need for that. I've got about 3 cups of actually pre-shredded bagged coleslaw mix from the store. You can shred your own cabbage and do your own carrots if you prefer, but this is a little faster for me. So that's what we're using for that. A ½ pound of ground pork in these. If you wanted to swap in another protein or leave it out completely, that's up to you, but we're going to use ground pork. Usually you use green onions, but guess you forgot to buy them. So today I'm swapping in chives, chopped chives. You can use anything in the onion family there, it'll be fine. A little bit of soy sauce with some water, ground ginger, and chopped garlic, a little salt, pepper, some water, some egg roll wrappers, and just a little bit of oil for my skillet. So, simple enough. And a little note, we'll talk about the egg roll wrappers when we get there. I'll give you some details on those, where to find them. So I'm going to heat that little bit of oil in my skillet here, and I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger. Now, I go a little heavy on the garlic and the ginger in this just because I love that flavor. But if you don't enjoy it, you don't have to use so much. So feel free to adjust as you need to. Then we're going to add our pork, and we're going to cook this until it's no longer pink. I'm going to ditch the spatula and go to my bench scraper for this. I don't have the patience to stand here all day breaking up meat, so I love this bench scraper for this. I am going to cook this down maybe 6 or 7 minutes until no pink remains in the meat, and as soon as I have that done, I'll be back to show you our next steps. Be back in just a second. Okay, all of our pink has cooked out of our meat. It looks great, and it smells so good. You're going to love this. Now, the rest of this is simply just pour it in, dump it in. So in goes our cabbage or our coleslaw mix, whichever one you're using. I'm going to turn my heat up just a tad here. And then goes your soy sauce. Now, if you wanted to add other flavors, sometimes I like a little bit of sesame oil in mine. Some people like a little fish sauce in theirs. If you're familiar with Asian flavors and want to experiment, feel free to do that. I'm going to add my chives. This is where you'll put your green onions in if you have those. Then I'm just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Just a little, because that soy sauce is salty, so you want to make sure you don't put a ton in there. A little pepper. And we're going to cook this just until the cabbage wilts, which could take, 3 or 4 minutes maybe. You don't want to cook it until it's mushy and watery or anything like that, but just until it wilts. And then I'm going to transfer this to a bowl, let it cool down just a little bit. I'm going to clean my skillet out, put the oil in it, and I'll show you how to fry them up. So I'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Okay, so while my oil heats, I want to show you how to wrap your egg rolls. Very, very simple. I have my filling that's kind of cooled off a little bit over here, and I'm going to show you. This is an egg roll wrapper, so this is what they look like, and it'll say right on the package, egg roll wraps, and they're usually in your produce department, so they'll be over by the pre-sliced like cabbages and that sort of thing in the corner by the herbs and that sort of thing. So that's where I get mine at. And what you're going to do is you're going to turn it so that it's like a diamond shape when you're looking at it, I guess. And you're going to take just a couple of tablespoons of your filling. Don't get tempted to overfill these. I'm watching my oil here. Don't get tempted to put too much in here because you can have them break. They'll burst open when they're cooking if you do that. So just a couple of small tablespoons of filling in there. Then with a little bit of water, just run your fingers around the edges just to wet those down. It'll help them stick and it'll seal everything inside. So around the corners. Then what I do, bring the bottom up and over the filling and kind of tuck it with your fingers. Bring in the sides and then roll it up the rest of the way. And there's one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish rolling these. I'll show you one more time if you need another example. And then when my oil comes to temperature, we'll start frying. So let me get a couple of tablespoons in there. Make sure that you make a mess when you do it because that's the only way to cook, right? Okay, so more water on the corners. Put that on there. And bottom comes up, corners, sides tuck in, and then roll up. And this recipe will make about 16 to 18, depending on how full you fill yours, but somewhere in that range. So I'm gonna finish rolling these up and then I'll show you how to fry them. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, our oil is ready for frying. And if you're not sure if your oil is ready, you can always test it. Just drop in one and see if it sizzles. If it sits there, your oil's not ready yet. So mine is perfect. That's exactly what should happen. And I have, I don't know, half an inch of oil in here. I actually don't have these like floating in oil. So you can deep fry yours if you want to. I can get the same thing done this way without using so much. So that works for me. So I've got about 3 in here. If you put any more than that inside, you'll drop the temperature of your oil too quickly and your egg rolls will get all soggy. So we don't want to do that. And you may have to adjust your temperature as you go just a little bit, but you'll be amazed how quickly these cook. And because everything inside is already finished, you don't have to worry about, is the pork cooked all the way through? It's just a matter of getting the outsides nice and golden brown. So I'm going to cook these until they're golden brown on all sides. I'm going to transfer them to a paper towel lined plate and then we can eat them. Be back in just a second. Our egg rolls are out of the fryer and they are piping hot, but I wanted to show you. Look how golden and crispy these are. Oh my goodness. I serve these with a homemade sweet and sour sauce, but you can serve these with anything your family likes. Hot mustard. I'm going to cut this guy open. Burn my mouth in here, but you can see all of that filling and they're just so crispy. You're gonna love these. Now you can freeze these, you can refrigerate these. If you wanna reheat them, all my readers tell me that they find great success by putting these in a toaster oven or in a low temperature oven for 15 or 20 minutes just to kind of re-crisp the outside. They're wonderful lunches for you or your kids, so I hope you enjoy them and you'll dig in soon. Don't forget to subscribe. I can't wait to have you here with me on Feast and Farm all the time. I'll see you again soon. Have a great day. Bye. If you put too many in, you'll drop the temperature of the oil too quickly and then they'll get soggy inside. So, phone ringing.